What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, here on Industry Talk, and welcome to Primetime Pod, the hottest information resource outlet for all things entertainment, breaking news, celebrity interviews, and the hot topics of the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.
Okay.
Shit.
Prime time five. Make sure you check it
Hell, why the fuck you think he missing? He say that.
And second bill a whole lot.
Now I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
They go trap.
What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your face, I'm in your space, and I'm blessed to be here on this wonderful day. It is May 9th, 2026, here in the great state of Mississippi. We're live at 5. I am your host, Big G. We are here on the Prime Time Network. This is Industry Talk, and welcome everyone that is tapped in, logged in, and ready to get it in with me today. Jarrell Braswell is probably getting him some rest right now, but I have sent him the information to tap in with us. He's been driving. He drove up to Kansas City. I'm sure it was like a 12, 14-hour drive. Got him some rest in between time. And in the meantime, but at the same time, he got there on time. But he's probably resting. But if not, he will join us today to chop it up and talk a little bit about what he's got going on in Kansas City, Missouri. Big shout out to the fam up there in KC, Deron Black, Don Juan Misery, Moshe Bunyada, and the crew. Yeah, it's a comedy show going down. And Jarrell Braswell is in town. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Industry Talk. And as you know, we talk about a lot of different things, a lot of stuff that's going on in your communities and in the world, and with different people that have all kinds of stories and things that are taking place in their life. But wait a minute, let me do this before I dig too deep off into this, because I'm still needing to address some things, because we're part of this information superhighway, right? The dissemination of quick response at your fingertips information. But information is so vital and so important because of the emotions that are invoked or the undertone that is presented. So, from a journalistic standpoint, from an individual that sits on this side of a microphone and asks questions and receives, information on a regular and consistent basis about what we need to push out to the public, I have to ensure. I don't care about what anybody else does. I don't care about gaslighting. I'm not into catfishing, clickbait, none of that gimmicky shit that dilutes the truth of the conversation. Yes, we sit here and we have fun, we poke and we go at one another because that's just a part of what we do on our platform. But when it gets down to it, we have in-depth conversations with individuals with real stories, living real lives, and have a real opinion about how they're surviving in their own vertical and in their space. Get that part of it right. Now, on the other side of it, when we're presented with information to push out to the public, and I hear different tones and conversations about particular things that really impact the public. It disturbs me when we're not getting the correct information, or we're not even researching for the correct information. We're just listening to some sound bites from individuals who want to rabble rouse and get everyone excited about something to take you nowhere. Dick riding is not a form of fucking transportation, ladies and gentlemen. So let's really get into, I'd say before I jump off into this, let me just say this. Welcome everyone that is tuned in, tapped in, locked in to the conversation. I appreciate being here, and let's first I want to say thank you all for participating and enjoying what we have going on here at Industry Talk with Industry Talk. If you're hearing my voice, if you're tuned in and locked in, make sure you share the live. Make sure you lock us in, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Big shout out to all of our affiliates, for Records, for Millionaires Club, all of our partners that work this machine with us, Jerry and Job Blaze, the official podcast affiliate for Records, Coach Malachi down in Florida, with True Media Marketing and Broadcasting, Don Juan Misery up in Kansas City. Like I said, the list is pretty extensive. Terry Allred out there in Greensboro, North Carolina, and everything that he brings to the table with all the artists that he presents, and just intriguing stories from individuals that he's engaged with. We're supposed to be having one of the biggest Colombian cartel members, drug cartel members, that served a little time. You know, we're supposed to have that conversation with him. Terry's working on making that happen. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to get too into detail with it, but you know, it's just about making sure everything is in line before we pull the trigger on that conversation. But I know that's going to be very impactful, you know, to hear the story from someone that was that high up on the food chain. Like I say, Terry was one of those guys that dealt directly with the cartels. And of course, you know, hey, when you sit there and you play in that arena, the time and the sentences that you get kind of speaks volumes. I mean, Terry ended up having to possibly serve a life sentence without the possibility of parole, over 6 ounces of crack. But his motions and his movements and the things that he was doing that led up to that, the feds didn't just throw him away like that, or want to throw him away like that over 6 ounces of dope. It was a lot of shit that Terry was into. And we're working on his book, as a matter of fact. And that story is going to be riveting because of everything that he's experienced, the stories that he'll sit there and put into it from his time sitting down in a federal institution over 32 years of his life. Yeah, like I said, it's coming. Damon Vega, you know, sitting down talking with Damon Vega and his life story, notes from behind the wire. That book is complete. It's just a matter of getting everything situated for Damon so that we can push it out the right way, how he wants to push it out, get him situated, and get him some revenue generated from what he's going through. You know, it's not to exploit him. It's to help push everything in his direction that he deserves. That's supposed to be coming his way. So we're working on getting his book published and making sure that, he wins in the rollout. It's a win. He's got to be prepared to get on the road and go do interviews and sit down in studio with people and talk about the book, talk about his story. It's going to be a task, especially when you have to raise the monies to do this. You have to pull together the monies to do this. It doesn't just happen because you say, hey, I want to do it. Okay, you have to have a planned marketing strategy, a rollout and promotional strategy in terms of where you want the book to hit, the markets that you want the book to actually be presented in. Regardless of how we may publish it, you still have to get it, the buzz. Don't you realize that 5,000 books sold, 10,000 books sold in a week is a bestseller? So that's the mission. That's a part of the mission. And then the continued ongoing process of getting him to USA Today to sit on the shows to tell his story, because the whole push, the whole big story push behind it is getting him exonerated. I don't want you guys to forget that part of it, so that he's got an opportunity to really go after the state and the people that put him behind bars and get compensated for being falsely accused of a crime that he didn't commit. So this is just the strategic planning part of where we're going. But I can tell you where we're going because we've been talking about it. Make sure you tap in with Inside Speaks, Jonathan Shaw, military veterans point of view. 7 a.m. in the morning, he's dropping on YouTube every morning. Make sure y'all tap in with Jonathan Shaw. And that's not the only time that he's on. Of course, make sure you tap in with SemiQuest Promotions. Yeah. Angel Williams is out there doing a thing. She'll be dropping some books here in the near future. I don't want to reveal everything, but it's happening. It's in the works, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the works. We have some very exciting interviews that are coming up here soon. Getty Blue. We'll be talking with Getty Blue, first artist of Freeway Records. We'll touch base with Getty on Sunday. I'm live here at 5. And, the ins and outs of what he's got going on right now. We have Regine Gagne from the UK. She's definitely working with Freeway Records and what we have going on, brought to us by our good man, Terry Allred. So yes, we have international ties and connections. So Regine Gagne will be tapped in with us on Wednesday. I want to say the 12th. So make sure you tap in with that. And of course, Ambitious Bree Melton is scheduled to lock in with us on the 12th or 13th. I want to say the 13th. That's the Wednesday. We're locking in with Bree. Her son plays professional basketball overseas in Greece. She's a real estate agent, and she also has a book or several books that she's working on, with one in particular that she's doing for children that she's working on. I will not reveal the title, but yes, we're working to get that done as well. So, a lot of productivity and production taking place for this year. Let me look at some of these comments while I'm gathering my thoughts. June 18th for the Butterfly books. Okay. Angels dropping on the 18th. June 18th is working. We're working towards that. Awesome. May 18th. June 18th. May 18th. Okay, she meant June 18th. Sorry, y'all. June 18th. I'm seeing May 18th. May 12th. Okay, that's Regine Gagne. And then just going to talk to you about it. Show even if you got to make it. Good deal. Yes, indeed. Good idea, Shaw. Yes, definitely schedule an interview with Miss Angel Williams to be on Industry Talk to talk about the release of her book and everything that she's got going on. What's going on, baby? My wife is on, Chanel Tapasoa Smith. Um, my baby love is here, locking in and supporting what we got going on. Just a few days, Angel will be dropping. Okay, in just a few days, she'll be dropping. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see here. Let me go over here to Instagram and see who's locked in with us on the IG. Terry Allred, Twitch. Boom, boom. Okay. So now what I was talking about earlier as it relates to misinformation, right? It's one thing to hear something and you let it skate. You don't really think about it because it didn't resonate. It didn't lock in. But there's a nationwide push right now. There's a push. And I'm a part of that push. But I'm a part of the push as it relates to it coming out correctly. All right. And well, some upsetting news today. The Cavaliers beat my Pistons 109-116. The series is 2-1 right now. Okay. They just beat us, the game just happened. So I'm still recovering from that loss. And I'm sure in the following game, the next game, we're going to beat the brakes off of the Cavaliers. So just, ladies and gentlemen, get prepared for the ass whooping of the century in this follow-up game, this game 4 that's going to take place between the Pistons and the Cavaliers. Big shout out to the Pistons. They're doing a phenomenal job. JB Bickerstaff is hands down the coach of the year. Yes. What they've done with the culture of the team and what they're doing for the morale of the city and the state is just unprecedented. So big shout outs to the Detroit Pistons. So let's keep it going. I heard something, I saw a post, right? And I need y'all to follow me on this and get a understanding of where I'm going. And I'm not knocking what anyone does, right? How they go about it, what they agree to. And, if I don't like it, I don't say anything about it, but I will monitor the situation to make sure that it doesn't infringe upon anything that's going on with me, my sovereignty, my family, anything. Because if it does, then I have to take action. But if it doesn't really affect me, then, hey, what you say, what you do, that's on you. But then when we start rabble rousing and getting folks gaslit, and we're talking about the Voters' Rights Act of 1965, all right? I mentioned this the other day, and I'm mentioning it again today because it's important. Because they're spreading misinformation, right? Although the Supreme Courts have voted to dismantle some of the things that are within the act in itself, they made some provisions. And for whatever reason that they made those provisions, okay, things can be adjusted. People can be spoken to. Letters can be written, but let's get to the meat and potatoes first before I just jump off the deep end to talk about that part of it, right? If in fact, because I'm gonna tell you about what I heard, if in fact you're getting onto social media and you're rallying behind telling college students that are going to schools in the SEC to withdraw and put your name in the transfer portal and go to another school because this redistricting or the Voters' Rights Act is going to impact us so much so that they're taking away your votes to right. They're taking away your rights to vote. And the only way to address that is to dismantle the SEC or convince kids that this is the way to go, because billions of dollars will be lost if, in fact, y'all go to other schools. Okay, I get what your attempt is. I get the attempt, but it doesn't change the situation. There's no clear path or a plan to resolving what's going on with the Voters' Rights Act of 1965, because you're thinking that this economic impact on this side with college students saying, hey, F you, because y'all aren't doing what we're saying, I'm going to go to this school. That's going to have an impact. No, that's just a transference of economic power from one school to another. And then to try to mobilize and get all of those students, black athletes, or any athletes, because see, y'all try to sit there and put it into a box. Any athletes that would be willing to participate in this farce, because that's all it is. It's not like it's actually going to happen, because you have to see the outcome. Look downfield and see the outcome. What are you going to get out of doing that? I need people to engage in this conversation. I don't want to have the conversation by myself, right? Because I want people to understand that what you're doing and what's out there, and people presenting these types of knee-jerk reaction solutions to something that is far more, you have to be far more intellectually savvy to get addressed than, hey, well, guess what? All of the black kids that are athletes at these schools, go to another school and watch the SEC just crumble. And then, yes, that's going to change their minds because this is just happening in the red states. Bullshit. It doesn't just affect the red states. It affects everyone. The Voters' Rights Act of 1965 it affects everyone across the board, every state. And another part of the misinformation is that they're telling you that, hey, if we don't do something about it right now, you're not going to be able to vote. That's bullshit. If you're a registered voter and you can get to the polls, then you can vote, regardless of where the voting poll is. If they move it, or yes, they might do all kinds of slick shit. And I'm not saying, okay, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people don't try to do slick shit to win votes and win elections. That is not what I'm saying, people. But when we're talking about the Voters' Rights Act of 1965 and how they're trying to use it as leverage and propaganda to convince you that something's being taken away from you, when in fact it has not. Because once you become legal at voting age, you can register to vote in your city, in your county, in your state, and you can go vote. By the way, midterm elections are in November. Just as a reminder, for those of you who may not know, because people talk all of this brouhaha about what needs to get done, how it needs to happen, but you're forgetting the one thing, the most important thing. Are you convincing people to get their ass up and go vote? I'm going to ask you that very simply, because if that's not the agenda, right? If the agenda isn't pooling and mobilizing strategically the vote, your people's vote collectively, not just the black vote, no, collectively. And that happens with you having meetings with members of your community, members of surrounding cities, members of the district that the congressman or senator in your area serves. Group meetings and passing information about what you want to see happening in your communities and how it's going to impact you in the future. That's the only way this happens peacefully. The only other option is revolution. So if you're not even having peaceable conversations, don't start to talk to me about fucking revolution. I don't want to hear it. Who you gonna shoot? You have no clue of what it is that you're fighting for or who you're fighting against. So don't have that conversation with me. So let's talk about the peaceable method and eliminating the apathetic approach of, my vote doesn't count. Yeah, you're right. If you don't go vote, you're 100% fucking correct. If you don't go vote, yes, it will not count. I can assure you. But don't allow people to get on this internet and try to convince you that they've stripped you of your right to vote. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. So for the individuals that pay attention, I want you to be duly and truly informed, well informed. So much so that when you hear it, sometimes when you hear bullshit, your antennas go up and it starts sounding like wah, 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 wah. It doesn't even make sense. So you kind of drown it out, tune it out. That's a natural instinct. When you fine tune your thoughts and how you move to know that, man, I can see that shit before it's a mile away. So let's get into it. So I'm refreshing. I'm hashing over some stuff. I'm in the state of Mississippi, and I implore you to do the same things, right? Because I'm focused on Mississippi. If you're in Texas, I need you to focus on Texas. If you're in Alabama, I need you to focus on Alabama. If you're in New York, I need you to focus. You follow what I'm saying? If you're in Philadelphia, I need you to focus on Pennsylvania. If you're in Pensacola, I need you to focus on Florida. Right? And I'll tell you what I mean here in just a second on what to focus on. Who to talk to. If you're going to start some shit, okay, start some shit, but start the shit the way that it really needs to be started. But you have to start in the right place. Okay? Not go to, we're going to sit there and knock down the billionaires and the SEC. What the SEC got to do with this shit, man? The NCAA and the SEC has nothing to do with what has taken place. Nothing. I don't even know who came up with that trivial idea. Hey, great idea for the ones who believe that that's the way to resolve the issue. But I am not about to sit there and put myself in any position to tell a young man or woman that is at the institution that they want to be at, either academically or athletically or a combination of both, to get onto your all of a sudden agenda to be a revolutionist, an activist, but you want to use these kids as the shield. We're going to leverage what you have, the hard work that you've put in. To hell with these schools. Go somewhere else. Go to another school, and we'll show them. No, the hell you won't. You know why? Because you haven't shown them up to this point. We've gotten to this point, and you still haven't shown them shit. Think about it that way. The one thing that has always produced is when you have community power and leverage, voting power. Why would governments go to the preachers, go to the pulpit, go talk to these? Because they had power. They could sway the masses. Anyone that came to their churches from the pulpit talking to the masses, guess what? Hey, I don't know, we're just in a political position. We're not talking politics because according to, the tax code, I mean, if you're a 501c3 or a nonprofit organization, 501c, a religious group or fraternal organization, hey, you can't get into the political brouhaha, or you could lose your funding that you apply for. So don't talk too slick about the government, or we may pull your funding. But if in fact, you talk good on behalf of Senator such and such, we can make sure that wheel is greased, that bread is buttered. Don't take my words for it. It is what it is. Churches don't just run off of tithes and contributions from their parishioners. There are grants that these boards apply for. If you're a part of the diocese with the Catholic Church, there's monies that are definitely put into the coffers of the churches from the Vatican. Like I said, don't take my word for it, but I'm not boo-boo the fool either. Okay. So let's dig off into this, man. Let's dig off into this. Do I got any questions, comments, concerns, anything? Let me see what that. Let's see. Most people have no clue. That's why most people lead with what's popular. Yes, Jay Shaw, you're right. You're 100% correct. All right, so let's get into it right quick, because I want y'all to be informed. All right. If you know this already, okay, don't hold it against me. But we're gonna get into it. In 1965, the Voting Rights Act, a landmark civil rights law, has been weakened by Supreme Court decisions, particularly Shelby County versus Holder, 2013. I'm gonna repeat that. Shelby County versus Holder, 2013. You have to look up that case, which struck down the pre-clearance formula, and Brnovich versus the DNC back in 2021, which narrowed Section 2 since 2013. Over 90 restrictive voting laws have been passed in at least 29 states, prompting calls to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act to restore the VRA's power. So you have the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which is trying to restore what has taken place with the VRA's power. So key changes in status, right? Shelby County versus Holder, 2013. The Supreme Court ruled a 5-4 that Section 4B of the VRA was unconstitutional, rendering the pre-clearance formula inoperable. This removed the requirement for historically discriminatory jurisdictions to get federal approval before changing voting laws. So before they could change the voting law, they had to get federal approval, right? So now Section 4B of the VRA, they're saying that it was unconstitutional, rendering the pre-clearance formula inoperable. So what they had, the formula in terms of figuring out if something was discriminatory, the pre-clearance formula, they're saying now is inoperable. This removed the requirement for historically discriminatorily, let me put it this way, areas that were predominantly Black or minority stricken. Those jurisdictions had to get approval before you could change the voting laws or redistricting or redraw the lines. Brnovich versus the Democratic National Committee in 2021, the court weakened Section 2 of the VRA, which prohibits discriminatory voting practices by making it harder to challenge discrimination laws, such as narrowing voting access, and this was up in Arizona. So all of these cases happened in different places, but it still found its way to the Supreme Court, right? In terms of making changes to VRA 1965. So increased litigation with Section 5 preclearance gone. Challenges to restrictive voting laws must now happen via litigation under Section 2, which is slower and more costly. So you still have the provision, but now it's going to cost a little bit more money. Now, in the reading, this is what I'm seeing. Now, legislative action. Congress has not yet passed the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which aims to modernize, restore the VRA to combat rising voter restrictions. Despite these changes, the VRA, the Voters' Rights Act of 1965, remains in effect and is used in ongoing battles regarding redistricting and voting procedures to protect minority voting rights. I'm going to read that again. Despite these changes, which are small, but still, you know, people are making a big stink of it. I'm still making a big stink of it because of what it is that they're trying to change, saying that the minority districts that they put into place and the lines that they drew within minority areas, and they're trying to dilute at this point by redistricting, by redrawing the lines, which costs a lot of money for each county to do, or each city to do, by the way. This isn't cheap. So it's not like it's something that they want to do. Every city, every county, they have to vote on this. It's not like, oh, we're just going to redraw the lines and, oh, yes, we're going to make sure that all the white folks are able to just vote who they want to vote. No, it don't work that way, man. It doesn't work that way. Don't be confused to think that it works that way. But it is important that if you start going to these meetings, you start participating in these council meetings, in these board of supervisor meetings in your areas, you go sit in legislative sessions and you sit there and you talk to your congressmen and senators of your state. Oh, yes, they'll hear what the hell you're saying, and they'll know that you're not fucking playing around. Not, oh, well, look, we're going to shut down the commerce of this. No. Let's do this the way it needs to be done. Do you want your job? Because come midterm elections and come general election, your ass will be out of here. Let's talk about that part of it. If we don't get some straightening as it relates to the Voters' Rights Act and not just the VRA of 1965, we're talking about everything, including infrastructure, education, safety and security. See, everybody wants to sit there and go straight towards tearing down a system that's in place, but you have means and ways to adjust all of that overnight by doing your civic duty, getting your ass up and going vote about it. But like I said, you have to be mobilized. You have to have the people in your corner to say, hey, man, this is who we're putting our money on. This is the horse we're riding. This is who we are voting for as a collective. Hands down. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I want to hear you. I need people to tell me, hey, G, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. This shit don't work. this system is rigged. It's a gimmick. If you believe that, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I've sat on election committees. I've counted votes. I've participated in doing what I need to do as a citizen to see my city, county, state move forward. So when people sit there and say, oh, they're taking your right to vote away, bro, man, don't lie to people like that to try to get them riled up. And then you're spewing that information to people that don't even vote. So you get people riled up and they don't even, man, I don't even vote. I'm not even registered to vote. But the actions of what's going on, you're not really paying attention to. Yes, have they eviscerated the Voters' Rights Act of 1965? Yes, because now they're sitting there telling us that if we see any kind of technical issue based on the letter of the law, and we can determine that it's discriminatory against anyone, then we're going to change it. Because we want to operate in clear conscience and we don't want to discriminate against anyone. And yes, because you guys at one time needed our assistance to make sure that there was no discrimination taking place when it came to the drawings of the lines or, representation on these boards, city council, supervisors. Well, this is no longer happening. It's 2026. It's a whole new millennia. You guys have pulled yourself up by the bootstraps. You guys are making money. You guys are in the upper middle class of America with a median income of $28,000 based on where you are. I'm in the state of Mississippi. I don't know what yours is, but that's what ours is. You make up 13% of the population. There is no way that you could sit there and be complaining about discrimination. You see the dramatic pause? That's because that's some bullshit. Now, we're not sitting there and going to go down the whole systematic approach of what has been done to keep people impoverished, to keep people in chains, so to speak. We're not going to go down that. But that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different talk topic for another day, because we know systemic racism has played a major part in what's going on within America, present day. But you can't forget what a racist and racism is. Because if you don't have the power and the money to control what's happening to an entire race, you are not a racist. You're prejudiced. You have a prejudice against someone because of the color of their skin. But if I can impact your entire society, if I can impact your race by what it is that I do, then that makes me a racist, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that part of it. So people may spew racist rhetoric. That doesn't mean that they're racist. They don't have the power. You live in a fucking trailer park. You don't have the power to be a racist. So let's not get it confused. The Supreme Court are falling in line with some racist tendencies at this point with what they've done with the Voters' Rights Act of 1965. That's racism. I can impact an entire nation with the vote and changing some of the parameters and align them with our constituents and our affiliates so that in the end result, we can win. See, that's the part that we're not paying attention to. But even if that is happening, what's the move, ladies and gentlemen? We're not talking about those same college individuals going to them and getting them to fill out voter registration forms and submitting them to their local municipality and keeping them aware of every time that they need to get up, go out and vote, and who they need to vote for. And we're not playing party lines. We're playing the game of who is in support of what it is that we're doing in our community. If you're not showing us that, then I can't show you a seat. I cannot. I would be a fool to do so. So earlier, I'd made mention to who you address. The Mississippi House of Representatives consists of 122 members serving in Jackson, representing districts based on population throughout the state as of 2024 through 2028. Jason White is the Speaker of the House here in the great state of Mississippi. So whatever county you're in, find out who your congressman is. As of May 2026, Mississippi's federal representation includes Senator Roger Wicker, Cindy Hyde Smith, Trent Kelly, Benny Thompson, Michael Guest, and Mike Ezell. The election, 2026 election cycle features a U.S. Senate race with incumbent Cindy Hyde Smith. She's on the hot seat, ladies and gentlemen, while all 4 House seats are up for election. Did you hear what I'm saying? All 4 House seats are up for election in the state of Mississippi. That's serious. That is serious, ladies and gentlemen. So, District 1, U.S. Representatives, Congressman Trent Kelly. District 2, Benny Thompson. And I'm not, okay, let me do this, because I don't care about your Republican or Democratic affiliation, but I will let you know. District 1, Trent Kelly, Republican. District 2, Benny Thompson, Democrat. District 3, Michael Guest, Republican. District 4, Mike Ezell, Republican. That's here in Mississippi. That's what I'm telling you. In your state, you need to find these people. These are the individuals that we need to be sending letters to, lobbying, talking to, building relationships with. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. Our voice needs to be heard, and that's how it's heard. I'm just a bill. Say I'm only a bill, and I'm on my way to Capitol Hill. Don't play with me when it comes to the civic shit. I grew up in an era when this shit was important, ladies and gentlemen. It's still important present day, but we're watching it fade away. Being apathetic and listening to individuals that just want to raise your temperature, and they're not sending you in a direction to get anything accomplished. What sense does that make, people? I'm going to send you on a mission, but we don't have any true strategic plan of what we're trying to get accomplished. Go storm and take that hill. Okay, what do we get out of taking that hill? What's the point and purpose? And then leadership, they're looking at you, you looking at them, and everybody got this fucking baffled look on their face because they have no clue. Well, what I'm telling you strategically is get your ass up and go vote. Get your people together, mobilize, think tank. Let's see who has and who will serve our interests. Pull together your contract for your community. If we're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about schools. How many of you go to your parent-teacher meetings? Not really PTA, but the school board meetings to see what's going on with the educational systems and what they're doing. What kind of monies are coming down the pipeline for the schools? What's happening with the 16th section land that is given to schools to expand and build? And the monies that are coming in. The raises that need to be going to the teachers. Better food programs. Keeping the doors open on a regular, consistent basis, giving these kids somewhere to go. If you don't have youth programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and YMCAs in the regions for after-school access. Mentorship programs. Reading and literacy programs. Hell, you go to McDonald's right now, they look at a board, guess what? They have an image there. It's a burger or a fry or this, that, and the other. But if you screw them up and you give them exact change and whatever, they can't count back change. So guess what? We have kids that are graduating that can't read and can't count. Simple addition and subtraction. And I hear people on these fucking talk boxes say, oh, man, I ain't do nothing with, man, school ain't worth the shit. What I'm doing with algebra? What do you mean what you going to do with algebra? If you don't know what algebra is, if you've never studied algebra, if you don't know the predictability of what things can transpire or what happens when you use precision on shit, vehicles, airplanes, physics, trigonometry, geometry. Ask a marksman. Ask a Marine sniper if he uses goddamn trigonometry. You damn if you can shoot. But can you get this goddamn bullet from one place to another, long distance, and know that you have a curve or how the wind drift and distance? Man, don't have me go off into this shit in terms of what you need an education for, or even the historical balance of life. We take notes about, inscribe our history. Why? Because we want to make sure we don't repeat the tragedies of our life. And if you can't read it, and if you don't have the math base and knowledge to understand it, then guess what? I can play you for a fucking fool all day long and continue to tell you that this isn't important. At one time, we used to goddamn get killed knowing how to read or wanting to read. And now, goddamn, you can't goddamn put a book in somebody's hand and give them $1 million to read a book. I guess the worst thing ever. But we'll sit there and soak up information and consume information from talking heads like myself that might not know a goddamn thing. But because they look good, they're in a nice suit, they look sharp. Oh, he look like you know what he's talking about. That's why I don't see, my aesthetic don't mean shit to me, man. I know I'm the best looking motherfucker on the planet. My wife will tell you that. That's the only one that matters to me. But I know personally I'm a good looking motherfucker. So to shave and to cut and to this, that, and the other, and to look good for this screen means nothing to me. my intellect, what I bring to the table when I talk to the people that are actually paying attention to what I'm saying. I want them to know that, you know what, man, that dude know what he's talking about. Because I can go research, fact check, and everything that he's saying is on point. And I ain't just talking about through fucking Google. You see, they get upset when you talk to them about some real shit that matters. Oh, did I offend you? Did I offend some people? I said matters. Black Lives Matters. What happened? What happened? Yeah, y'all go do the research. I ain't about to go down that goddamn rabbit hole. Folks are out here just talking shit and not getting anything accomplished. But when it comes to giving you the correct information, the right information, sound information, industry talk is where it's at. I ain't got time to bullshit you. And make sure that you tell the next person that comes with that bullshit, especially when it relates to this VRA 1965. Oh man, they're taking our rights to vote away. Obviously, you ain't paying attention. But let me get you straight on some shit. That's not what's happening. But if you want a voice in terms of making a difference, then you need to get registered to vote. We need to vote, and we need to start mobilizing and talking to our city officials, making them aware of what we feel is important to us as a people, as a community. You need to start talking to your senators and congressmen and putting pressure on them as well. And not just, I'm going to write a letter and we have a petition. No. Let me remind you that midterm elections are coming up. Let me remind you of general election is coming. You have 4 seats in the Senate that are up for grabs right now. And our constituents, our base, our network, well, we're trying to figure out which way we're going to lean. You become a target at that point. That's what people are afraid of. Getting that taco meat knocked out the head from long distance. You see? So nobody wants to rise up and really talk about what needs to go on. Because when you start speaking truth to power, then power begins to scramble to figure out how to eliminate you. So you got to get yourself into a position where it don't make a difference if you take me out. Because you have an entire collective. Next man up. And keep pushing forward. You see? And it's not that you are here to be a martyr or a sacrifice. No, I'm here to support my people. And understand that, I'll lay down my life for what I know is right and righteous. Because if I don't do it today, future generations, which includes my grandkids and my grandkids' kids, will have to suffer for my lack of emotion, for my apathy, for my insolence, for my disrespect of doing what's right for their future existence. Y'all not supposed to see this side of me, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, you're not. Land navigation as well. That's right. You got to know. You got to know. GPS, geospatial recognition. Um, yeah, yeah. Mathematics. LGBTQ was running the BLM. Okay. All right. You got to know hands down. We are in a small town now, and most of the meets are held with live. You can tap in. That's good. That's good. Everybody can come together. Yeah. Justin Pearson in Tennessee. Yeah, he's under fire. Yeah, yeah, good deal. I'm glad everybody's tapping in. Let me see here. I've been yapping for an hour, y'all. I've been talking for an hour, and y'all know that I wouldn't normally just take up a show with just one topic. This is a very important topic. But thank everybody. My beautiful wife, Chanel, my cousin on the West Coast, Show Tapasoa, out there doing his thing. Downwine Misery up in KC. Y'all need to link up with Jarrell Braswell. Make sure y'all link up. Jay Shaw, Angel Williams, King Misi. Thank y'all for joining the party today, man. That's what I'm gonna do is out there on at a car show out there in Huntsville, Alabama today. Some really nice looking cars when I jumped on this live. Big shout out to my man Patrick Phillips down in Florida. His radio show is live right now. Big shout out to the crew, man. And hey, to me, it's been an informative episode, and make sure that we disseminate the right information, not incorrect information, to the masses when we're speaking. That's key. Because if I tell you the wrong information, I'm misleading you, then something goes awry. That's on me. That's my fault. But if I give you the correct information and you have a decision to make, but you have the right information to make a sound decision, and you go in the opposite direction, well, I've done my job. I've done my part. But you can best believe it's in the best interest of serving my community. So when it comes to the Voters' Rights Act of 1965, ladies and gentlemen, yes, pay attention to it. Don't fall for the BS that's being pushed out about it. Go learn it. Go learn what's going on. Go see what's been taken out. See what they've done to weaken the Voters' Rights Act of 1965, why we need to shore it up, and how we go about shoring that up. It comes with elections. It comes with voting. It comes with submitting information to those senators and congressmen and filling up those offices, the Supreme Court offices, those individuals who make these decisions and make them understand why it is important that we don't dismantle things that are in place that best serve our community. But also, if you can see the other side of it, if it isn't best serving the community, right? Because we're only in it for the right now. If it isn't best serving the community, because you have corrupt minority majority leaders, and they're just going along to get along, right? They're playing the game now. They're getting their palms greased, and they're enjoying, the monies that are coming in. Their friends are getting the big contracts, and they sit there with the kickbacks. Y'all know how the shit works, man. Don't make it seem like I'm just talking to the wind. Oh, y'all didn't know that happened? Districts 1 through 6, we in the 3rd ward, 1 through 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, all of those supervisors and councilmen, oh man, they go to dinner together. They go to the country club together. They play golf together. Their friends own big construction companies. They have welding companies. Port Benville here in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? They know 20 years down the line what's coming. The Port and Harbor Commission, what's coming to the great state of Mississippi along the coast. And you mean to tell me that these folks aren't sitting there lobbying for the contract and certain people aren't getting paid on the back end? Man, you must be out your gut. I could do this all day, man, because I've lived it. I live it. I'm in it. I talk about it with my friends. But this Voters' Rights Act of 1965 really got under my skin because people are trying to use these emotional triggers to set you in a direction. But if you're going to go in a direction, make sure it's the right direction. So with that, beautiful people, like I said, I could go on and on all day about this, but I'm going to leave it there. We're going to leave it for another day. To all of the beautiful mothers that are out doing their thing, happy Mother's Day to you and your family. Wish you well. Fellas, make sure you do something special. Get in the kitchen and cook or something. I don't know what it is that you do. Do something. Wash your ass, brush your teeth. I don't know. Do something. But make sure you let them know that you care. I love you, baby. Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to my sisters and my mom. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. I'm not going nowhere yet. Hold on a second. Look who done jumped into the room. I thought we was about to get off this thing. JB. What's happening, Braswell?
What it do, man?
Oh, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
You woke up? You getting you some rest?
Yeah. Just got to you, man. We got everybody back here. Just made to the venue.
Okay.
Getting ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Kansas City.
Okay. Oh, you at the
What we
club
doing?
now?
You breaking up?
I'm breaking up. Yeah, you froze up, man. You froze up. There you go.
I can't hear you. There we go.
Okay. You good now? Let me dig you out. Come back in. I'm gonna kick you out and come back in, JB. Okay, well, we on for just a minute. Yeah, JB gonna jump on this thing. He gonna come on this thing right quick. Let's see. Yeah, they said they made it to the venue. They about to get started. They about to get the party started. So yeah, man, let me let JB come on back and come on into this thing. I'm glad we caught him. He caught us right there at the end of it. He came on and there we go. All right. It's coming. It's thinking. I think that's what the little circle is. I think that's what it represents. You in there, JB? Bad signal. Can you hear me, JB? Yeah. Okay. We'll give it a minute. I ain't in a rush to go nowhere. I ain't going nowhere this shit. Why y'all ain't tell me I got all this shit on me, man? Y'all gotta tell me I got this stuff on me when I'm sitting on this damn screen. Lint and hair and shit.
Yo.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, I can't see you now though.
Oh, but you good. We good. You I mean, you in there.
Okay.
You in there. You gotta see me. They can see me. They can see us. They can see we. What's happening, man? So where y'all at tonight?
We at the Funny Bone in Kansas City.
Funny Bone, Kansas City. Okay. Did Don Juan Misery and them boys catch up with you?
Huh?
Did Don Juan catch up with you?
No, not yet. I ain't calling.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just we as soon as I got here, we got together, went and got something to eat. Then shit called the Uber.
He'll be back. There we go. He'll be back.
All right.
Yeah,
They
last thing I
coming
heard
down.
was caught the Uber. Last thing I heard was caught the Uber, JB.
I can barely.
I said,
The signal bad back here where I'm at.
okay.
That shit
Okay.
bad.
Yeah. What are you staying?
It's flick
Are
right
you
now.
staying in town? Or are you because if he's staying in town, we'll do a in the heat of the night with JB. Let's find out. We can follow up what's going on with JB in just a minute. Jump on in just a minute. Let's see. I'm looking at stuff. Don't mind me. Well, JB about to get started. Y'all know what's going on. I'll link up with JB in a little bit. We about to get off this thing, man. His signal's bad. Y'all see what's going on. But he's at the venue. They're about to perform. They're about to kick this thing off. And I'm sure we'll get on with JB later on the night. So be on the lookout, man. 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight. Let's get into it. Let's see if we can rock us in the heat of the night with Jarrell Braswell and lock in with my brother later on tonight. All right. So make sure you find out who your city councilmen are, aldermen, mayor, your governors, senators, congressmen. Let's start locking in with these people and utilizing the power of your vote. That's what weighs in a lot more heavier than going to tear up some shit. I promise you. Now, when it comes to a time where you have to tear up some shit, you better have a really good plan of what you're tearing up. Don't just tear up shit that you just because you're tearing up shit. Nah, go tear up some specific shit. Specific shit. And that comes with strategic planning. All right? And as always, beautiful people, y'all know with me, it's about health, wealth, and wellness. Stay dangerous. What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G. And this is my personal invite to all of you to join me on Industry Talk on the Prime Time Network daily at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I get into great conversations with entrepreneurs, artists, industry leaders, you name it, we bring it to the table. So make sure you tap in with us, lock us in, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And we stream on all major platforms. And be sure to visit us at gemsitpublishing.com. This is Industry Talk. Let's get into it.
Motion.